Of you, welcome back to course of computing. Our today's topic of video is introduction to perceptrons. So in the last video we discussed about the forward propagation and backward propagation. We understand the two types of adaptive network, that is feed forward network and feedback network. Also we discuss about the classification of neural network based on the two criteria. One is based on learning, that is supervised, unsupervised and reinforcement, and based on architecture, that is feed forward and feedback network. Now in today's video we are going to understand the basics of artificial neural network. So one of the topic is introduction to perceptron. So already we understand what is artificial neural network. So at that time I told you that ANN is a ANN is a artificial neural network which is a concept similar to that of biological network, because we know that human brain is made up of n number of neurons and each neuron have capability to process the information, and in our brain n number of neurons are there, and ANN is a concept that mimics the human brain. The structure of human brain is being mimicked by artificial neural network. So artificial neural network also consists of neuron. But maybe you got a confusion that here we are saying that the topic is introduction to perceptron. So whether perceptron and neuron is different, suppose it is different, what is the difference, what is their architecture, what are the types of perceptron. So all these things we are going to understand in this particular video. So let me tell you, perceptron and the neuron both are same. Neuron is a term that is being used in a biology, that means in the human brain we are saying that neuron, but artificially created neuron is nothing but a perceptron. So perceptron is a concept which is similar to the concept of neuron. Okay, so in case of artificial neural network, most of the time we talk about neurons only, but actually it's a perceptron because it's a artificial neuron. So what is perceptron? So perceptron is a basic unit of artificial neural network. So this is a simple artificial neural network. In this case we are saying that perceptron is a basic unit of ANN which takes number of it takes number of input and process it and produces the output. So in another way we can say that perceptron is a simplest neural network which takes input, process it and provided it as a output. So what we understand, perceptron is a basic unit of artificial neural network. So this x1 we consider this x1 is what a input. Okay, this is single neuron or you can say perceptron. Okay, it takes input x1, x2, x3 and xm, these are the inputs, whereas w1, w2, w3 and wn, these are considered as a weight. And this is what a y is nothing but a neuron or you can say perceptron which takes number of input, processes it and produces a output. The concept of perceptron was introduced by Frank Rosenblatt in the year of 1957, because when the concept was derived, that is the ANN. So basic unit in human brain, what is the basic unit? Neuron. So as it is in the mathematical way or you can say in our life, artificial life, we have created a neuron, so that is called as a artificial neuron or you can say it is a perceptron. So there are two types of perceptron is there. One is a single layer perceptron and multi-layer perceptron is there. So first of all we talk about single layer perceptron. So I just shown you this architecture. We can say this is a simple single perceptron. Okay, these are the input, these are the weights and it produces the output. So this is similar structure is there, input, weight, here you got the output, and then one more thing is there, activation function. Now the thing is that why do we require activation function? So in this perceptron you are going to use a simple formula. So here what should be the formula? Y equals to x1 into w1 plus x2 into w2 plus x3 into w3 up to xm into WM. So this is what formula that you use to calculate the output, but that output is generated, and we want that output should be normalized. That means that output, we want the whatever the output produced by perceptron, that should be in a specific range. Let's say between -1 to 1, or you can say between 0 to 1. We want that whatever the output that is to be produced by perceptron, or you can say neuron, that should be in the range of either 0 to 1 or -1 to 1. So by default this thing should not be there. So for that purpose, what you need to do, you need to use activation function. So here, after getting weighted sum, you this is a weighted summation symbol. So you got weighted sum, then you will provide this output as an input to the activation function. So here we use activation function in order to bring the non-linearity, or we want that your output should be in the specific range, that is in the range of 0 to 1 or -1 to 1. So that's why we require a activation function. So activation function is that function which brings your output in a specific range of 0 to 1 or -1 to 1. So you may heard about different activation functions such as softmax is there, sigmoid is there, ReLU, tanh. So every activation function have their own specialty, and it brings your output in a specific range of -1 to 1. So that range is also going to vary from activation function to activation function. So this is how the structure of simple perceptron is there. Now next is what is the difference between perceptron and neuron. Neuron is a concept used in a human brain, and perceptron is a concept that is used in a artificial neural network, but both these are synonymous. So here I will show you, this is a neuron, this is a structure of neuron present in the human brain, and this is what a artificial neuron, or you can say perceptron. Okay, so in a general neuron which is present in your brain, so it has dendrites. Okay, so dendrites provides the input. Okay, just like that in the perceptron, these are the inputs provided like that here, x1, x2, x3. Like this in a human brain, through dendrites it will accept the input, and then this is a cell nucleus where actual processing takes place. Here processing of information will take place. Similarly, in case of your brain, nucleus is an important part in any neuron where processing of information is being takes place. Through dendrites it will accept the signal and provide it to nucleus where processing of information is being takes place. This is what a axon, and through axon that output generated by this neuron is provided as an input to the another neuron, because just like here your brain consists of n number of neurons, and all these neurons are connected with each other. Similarly, in case of artificial neural network, n number of neurons are there, and all these neurons are connected with each other. That means output produced by one neuron is given as a input to the another neuron. So this is human brain neuron, which is having dendrites through which we are accepting the input. Nucleus is that part which processes the information. Axon is that part of neuron which provide the output to the next neuron. Okay, and this is what our artificial neuron, or you can say perceptron, which is taking number of inputs, processing it and provided the output, and that output is passes to the activation function. This is what additional thing in case of perceptron. Activation function concept is not there in the human brain. Okay, now let's understand what exactly the difference between biological neuron and artificial neuron. Artificial neuron is a perceptron. So in this case, what we have, cell nucleus. Here we are saying it is a node. Here we have dendrites through which we are accepting the input. In this case, we are saying in case of perceptron we are saying input. In case of biological neuron we have synapse. In case of weighted neuron we have weights or interconnection. And for axon, in case of perceptron we are calling it is a output. So here this is what a synapse. Okay, it also consists of synapse also. Okay, so we understand the difference between biological neuron and artificial neuron, that is perceptron. Now next is multi-layer perceptron. As I told you, there are two types of perceptron: single layer perceptron and multi-layer perceptron. As its name suggests, multi-layer, that means it is having multiple layer. You can see here the structure. This multi-layer perceptron consists of three main layer. One is the input layer, hidden layer, and the output layer. In single layer perceptron, only input layer and output layer is there, but in multi-layer perceptron n number of hidden layer, means minimum one hidden layer is important in case of multi-layer perceptron. Actually, the concept of multi-layer perceptron was introduced by Minsky in the year of 1969. So how can we define multi-layer perceptron? Multi-layer perceptron is simply a feed-forward network with one or more hidden layer which is having a great processing power. It's totally depend upon how many hidden layers that you have. Most of the time it is found that if you increase the number of hidden layer, then you will get a more accurate output, because if you increase the number of hidden layer, that much processing will increase, and if the processing will increase, definitely you will get a good output. In most of the cases it is found that. So multi-layer perceptron is that structure which is having these three compulsory layer: input layer, hidden layer, and output layer. And in single layer perceptron we have seen there are only two layer. One is the input layer and the output layer, but there is no hidden layer present in the single layer perceptron. But in case of multi-layer perceptron, we have multiple hidden layer, means at least one hidden layer is important. This is another structure. Here you can see 332. What is that 332? Three inputs, three nodes or three neurons in the hidden layer, and two nodes in the output layer. See, again the number of nodes or number of neurons present in the neural network is decided by the problem solver. Means again there is no thumb rule given that many neuron or that many nodes should be there in the artificial neural network. It's totally going to vary from problem to problem. So this is what the structure of multi-layer perceptron. And this is next backpropagation in multi-layer perceptron. We already understand what is the importance of backpropagation. Ultimately backpropagation helps us to improve the performance of your network, because it provides the output, it provides the guidance, how, means what is the difference between actual output and expected output. Unless and until you will not calculate the loss, what is the difference between actual output and expected output, how can you adjust the value of weight? And it's overall about the weight value. If you getting the good weight value, obviously you are getting the appropriate output. So in order to improve the performance of your network, you require a feedback, and that feedback is provided with the help of backpropagation. So here you can see that input is provided, weighted sum is calculated, we are applying activation function to bring the non-linearity or to bring the output in a specific range. Then here we are using the cost function or loss function, which calculates the loss and conveys it to the hidden layer or the input layer, and so that the value of weight can be changed, and again this weighted sum is calculated. So this process is continue unless and until you will not get the appropriate output. Actually backpropagation involves forward pass and the backward pass. In the forward pass we are moving from left to right, that means input is multiplied with a weight, you are getting weighted sum, then it is provided to the activation function, you got some output, then loss function will calculate the loss, then here you will find that how much difference will be there, then that is again communicated to the input layer or hidden layer, where again the value of weight is adjusted, again weighted sum is calculated, again it is passed to activation function, and again you will evaluate it with the help of loss function. So this is a complete process, it's a iterative nature. So backpropagation have forward pass as well as the backward pass. So if information is moving in this direction, we are saying it is a forward pass, and when this information is conveyed back, it is called as a backward pass. So backpropagation involves forward pass as well as the backward pass. So this is how the structure of multi-layer perceptron. So I hope you understand what is the concept of perceptron. So here we understand that perceptron is nothing but a neuron. In case of human brain we are saying neuron, but in case of artificial neural network we are saying that perceptron, but generally we identify it as a neuron. But technically perceptron is nothing but a artificial neural artificial neuron, and it is of two type. One is a single layer perceptron and multi-layer perceptron. What is the difference between these two? Single layer perceptron only have two layer, input layer and the output layer, whereas in case of multi-layer perceptron it has minimum one hidden layer. That means input layer and output layer is compulsory, but it also consists of minimum one hidden layer. So this is how we discuss about the perceptron. Thank you.